When we travel, we often assume that we need to get from A to B as quick as possible, and often this is really fun. But a lot of the time, you're missing out on a whole bunch of adventure just by rushing through that journey. Now, I really love this concept of slow travel, which means you take time over the journey. So, this might mean a lot of stops, it might mean pausing more, it might be that you just don't try and cram too many miles into a road trip. Now, I've actually always done this when I've travelled. I've always thought I don't want to be spending all my time in the car because part of the joy of travel is seeing the places, and as much as I love driving, that's not what road trips are about for me. So even in a petrol car, I embraced this concept of slow travel because it allowed me to see places and have adventures that I never would have had if I'd just, say, gone from Norfolk, where I live, up to Scotland and then done a trip in Scotland. By stopping along the way, you just see so much more. And I really learnt this when I was doing the Route 57 road trip. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the concepts of slow travel that have meant that I have had some incredible journeys and adventures, not just on road trips, but in a wider travel sense. So whether you're looking to see more of the world, or perhaps you've just got an electric car and want to embrace slow travel to give you time to charge, stick around, I'm going to cover it all here. If you don't know me, I'm Jess Shanahan. I'm a petrolhead, recently turned EV owner, but I'm also a road trip lover and traveler, and slow travel is kind of my thing, and it's something that I've embraced and enjoyed for many, many years. I'm super excited to share slow travel with you, so let's get to it. So first up, plan for slow travel. So let's say you're traveling from London-ish up to Scotland. You'd be tempted to go in the most sensible direction following all of the major roads. Now, this makes sense, you want to get to Scotland. But what if you were to stop at some cool places along the way? So you might head into Wales to see something or go hiking, then you might head into the north of England to see family or friends, then you might take another stop somewhere in Scotland before heading on to your final destination. Now this is so good if you have an electric car and need to charge, maybe you want to stop overnight, or if you just want to take it easy on your trip. You can, of course, plan for your slow travel or just stop when you feel like it, but I always find that having some kind of idea of when you want to stop and where you want to stop always helps you find the most interesting places. Next up, go off the beaten path. Now, it's great to stop at all of the major cities and locations along any route, no matter where you are in the world. But I've always found that the real adventures come when you go off the beaten path and you go into smaller areas. So whether that means going into a village rather than staying in a town or city, or if that means trekking off into the wilderness. But don't feel like you need to follow vaguely the same route you would as if you were going from A to B. Take a detour, take your time over the journey. So for example, when I was road tripping in America, we needed somewhere cool to stay and we picked the town of Kalamazoo only for the fact that it had a cool name. We knew nothing about it. It's not necessarily a big tourist destination for British tourists who are road tripping around America, but it was an incredible place and we met some amazing people. The architecture was wonderful, the food was wonderful, and it's a standout highlight of that trip. So you might choose to go off the beaten path by following a sign to somewhere that looks cool, or going off a recommendation from a local that you met in the previous destination, or by doing your research ahead of time and finding somewhere cool that you would like to visit. And remember, this is about the journey. As much as your final destination might be an amazing place, remember that slow travel is about the journey. And actually, road trips are about the journey as well. And whether the thing that you find fun is the driving or the exploring or the stopping off at new places, however you approach this, you should think about what the journey is doing and what the journey is offering you. And that's the nice thing about slow travel, that it's more than just a time to charge your car or get a cup of coffee. You're adding to the experience of the trip and making it so much more than just the one destination. If you've enjoyed this video, check out this playlist of all of my road trip content, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.